Hi, this is Sandy. It's a beautiful springtime day, and my business is Wellness with Attitude, navigating the curves of life. Well, I've had a few curves in my life this week. I had expected to be doing this from the beach. We were down in Florida for a family event, and we were going to take a week of R&R, oceanside condo, and we got there on Saturday, and we are here, and it's Thursday. We got in last night about 8 o'clock. My husband is an IT guy, and he had a client who was cryptoviruses. So, or virus, I guess is a better way to say it. So, we needed to come back home. So, once again, every time you think you're in control of anything, life has a way of just stepping up and helping you to understand that you're not. So here I am back in the office, and the theme for this month has been April showers bring May flowers. So when we arrived on Saturday, we had a beautiful sun, and on Sunday, nature decided we needed some rest and recuperation, so it poured down rain, and it was good. We got to listen to the ocean churn and watch the clouds form, and then the next day there was a beautiful sunrise. So check out my photos on Facebook if that is something of interest to you. I also became fascinated with the pelicans as they flew by. We were on the sixth floor, and I was enchanted with them. I have seen pelicans before, but I never saw them almost at eye level and even underbelly. And gosh, they have a wingspan of like 10 feet. So they were absolutely magnificent. So even though our trip was shorter than expected, we do celebrate the gifts, and we celebrate that my husband has a business, and that even though laundry and grocery shopping is not the most exciting thing to do, I have clothes to wear, and I had the money to go grocery shopping. So all grateful for that. But thinking a little bit more into spring and the blooming of flowers, I have a question for you. Do you think you're more of a tulip or more of a rose? So here's the thought: a tulip blooms early. So maybe you, in high school, maybe you bloomed early, maybe you started to date early, or maybe you like to be the first in on the new iPhones or the new techie stuff. And that's great. That's okay, because those of us who are not the first in need you to show us how to use those things. But maybe you're a rose. Maybe you have many colors. Maybe you bloom a little later in the season. Maybe you bloom twice. So there's no judgment between the tulip and the rose. And so I'm going to encourage you to think about not having judgments about yourself. I do want to share with you something. Um, as we think about blooming, and as we think about being ourselves, and as we think about not being so comparison driven, I want to throw another word out to you today, and that word is vulnerability. And so I'm going to have to read this to you because it came from a TED's talk that one of my friends sent me a little excerpt, and I wanted to share it with you. So it says here, when we think about vulnerability, we also have to think about our human being. As human beings, we are wanting to be connected. And so to connect with others, we need to be real, we need to be authentic. So thinking about shame is having a fear of disconnection, being disconnected from the experiences. So some people struggle with feeling like they aren't worthy. So let's ask ourselves, what does worthy really mean? Are we comparing ourselves to someone else? So for connection to happen, we have to allow ourselves to be seen. And I know some people are happy up on the center stage, and some people are happy in the background moving the stage props. But being seen in whatever role you're playing is important. And so to be seen, we have to be excruciatingly vulnerable. I know you're saying, yeah, I think I'll skip that one. I'm just going to be authentic. I don't think I want to be vulnerable. But they really go together. And I challenge you to think about that. So we need to look wholeheartedly at ourselves, and we need to realize that we have the courage to be imperfect. We like it when other people are. We can laugh with them or tell them it's okay, or we relate. But we're not always so quick to be the front runner on being embarrassed or being imperfect or not doing something perfectly. So to feel connection is a result of authenticity and vulnerability. To fully embrace their vulnerability, people believe that what makes them vulnerable also makes them beautiful. So I thought that was exactly correct. We should celebrate that vulnerability, even though it's a little scary and we're not sure how others might judge us. Really, honestly and truly, how other people judge us is none of our business. But that would sink in. So, what keeps us from connection is our fear of not being worthy. And if we feel not worthy, then we're afraid to connect. And we feel if we connect, we have to be vulnerable or some form of maybe being embarrassed. So I think if we can get ourselves into a very unbalanced place. So let's think about this as a circle, because if you're feeling unworthy, if you're shutting down your emotions of feeling vulnerable, then you cannot also celebrate joy and gratitude and happiness. So, which would you rather be? Joyful, happy, filled with gratitude, or worried about how other people are judging you or feeling shame or vulnerability or unworthy? So, you do get to make that choice just, and bloom in your own garden in your own time. So, being imperfect, think about this. We talked about a tulip and we talked about roses, but what about wildflowers growing on a hill? They blend, they burst into many colors, and they don't worry about whether or not they're perfect. How exciting would that be to just be tall or long or bright or subdued or have big leaves or little leaves and just be wild and free and grow, reaching up to the sun. And don't we all love to even just drive along the highways and see a beautiful burst of wildflowers? What about walking in the woods and seeing a beautiful array of wildflowers blooming in there? Doesn't that put a smile on our face? So I hope that perhaps you'll decide, yes, I like being a tulip, yes, I like being a rose, or I think I'm going to be a wildflower and celebrate all the colors and all the beautiful things that you are as a human. So, this is Sandy Warren, definitely navigating the curves of life myself this week, but also celebrating that I have curves, that I have many things to be grateful for in my life. And I'm grateful for you. If I can be of any service to you, I hope that you'll reach out to me. Have a beautiful day.